Peace be upon you. Welcome to the What Does Science Say channel. Today we are getting up close and personal with a topic we all think we know, body odor. But I promise you, the real science behind why we smell is way more surprising than you'd ever expect.
So let me just start by asking this. What if the one thing you've been blaming your entire life for body odor is actually completely innocent? What if sweat has nothing to do with it? Let's get into it.
And here it is, the big reveal, the fact that turns everything on its head. Scientists and dermatologists are all in agreement on this one. Sweat, by itself, is totally odorless. Yep, that stuff your body makes to cool you down has no smell whatsoever. So, if it's not the sweat, then what in the world is causing the stink?
That's right, we've been blaming the wrong thing all along. Sweat is not the enemy. So in this first part, we're going to meet the real culprits and break down the fascinating biological process that's literally happening on your skin right this second.
Okay, so it turns out not all sweat is created equal. Your body has two kinds of sweat glands. You've got eccrine glands pretty much everywhere, and they produce that watery, salty sweat to cool you down. But then you have the apocrine glands. These guys are mostly hanging out in your armpits and groin, and they produce a totally different kind of sweat, one that's loaded with proteins and fats. And that is where our story begins.
It all goes down in 3 simple steps. First, those apocrine glands release their special protein-packed sweat, which, remember, is still odorless at this point. Then, the trillions of bacteria living on your skin see this as a 5-star, all-you-can-eat buffet. And finally, as these bacteria chow down, they release byproducts. And those byproducts are what we recognize as body odor. It's not your sweat, it's what the bacteria do with your sweat. Seriously, you should think of your armpits as a tiny, bustling city of microbes. The main residents are bacteria with names like Corynebacterium and Staphylococcus. They're the ones responsible for taking the raw ingredients from your sweat and turning them into, well, your own personal brand of BO.
So this begs the question, right? If we all have these bacteria, why do we all smell so different? Well, it's because your individual scent is like a unique chemical fingerprint, and it's shaped by your genes, your diet, the whole shebang.
First off, genetics is huge. Get this. Only about 2% of the entire human population has a special version of a gene called ABCC11. This gene basically stops their apocrine glands from producing the fatty, protein-rich sweat that bacteria love to eat. No food for the bacteria means no smell. And this genetic variation is most common in people of East Asian descent. Pretty amazing, right?
And it's not just your genes. You literally are what you eat. And in this case, you can kind of smell like what you eat too. Foods with strong sulfur compounds, think broccoli, cabbage, garlic, onions, can release those compounds into your bloodstream, and they can eventually come out in your sweat. The bacteria then use these new ingredients, which can totally change the final smell. The same thing can happen with certain spices, red meat, and even alcohol.
Now, while a little BO is completely normal, sometimes, in very, very rare cases, a really distinct and unusual body odor can actually be a sign that something is off with the body's internal chemistry. For instance, there are a few rare genetic conditions where the body just can't break down certain compounds properly. A condition called trimethylaminuria can cause a person to smell like decomposing fish. Others can lead to smells like sweaty feet or boiled cabbage. Now, I have to stress, these are extremely uncommon, but they're a powerful example of just how connected our scent is to our body's metabolism.
All right, the science is fascinating, but let's get practical. Now that we know what's really going on, what's the best way to manage body odor? Let's build your science-backed toolkit.
First things first, we have to clear this up. Deodorant and antiperspirant are two completely different things. Deodorant tackles the smell. It either covers it up with a fragrance or it uses ingredients to kill the bacteria causing the odor. Antiperspirant, on the other hand, tackles the sweat itself. It uses aluminum compounds to create tiny temporary plugs in your sweat glands, which means less sweat reaches the skin for the bacteria to eat.
So what's the ultimate game plan? It's a combination of things. Washing every day with soap is your foundation. It gets rid of both the bacteria and their food source.
To level up, you can use an antimicrobial wash, like one with benzoyl peroxide, a couple of times a week to really lower that bacteria count. Also, keeping underarm hair trimmed reduces the surface area for bacteria to thrive. Choosing breathable fabrics like cotton helps sweat evaporate quickly. And here's the killer tip. Apply antiperspirant at night. When you're sleeping, you sweat less, which gives the aluminum a better chance to get in there and form really effective plugs.
Okay, let's wrap all this up with a new way to think about body odor. Because it's not really about fighting a battle against your body, it's about understanding and working with it.
I think this is the most important thing to remember. Having body odor does not mean you are dirty or that you have bad hygiene. It just means you're a healthy, functioning human with a thriving ecosystem of microbes living on your skin. It's not a flaw, it's just biology, plain and simple.
So, I'll leave you with this question to ponder. We've seen how our genes, our diet, and our health can all be reflected in our personal scent. So, if your scent truly is your own unique chemical signature, what do you think your body is trying to tell you? Thank you for being with us until the end of this video. Please be sure to subscribe to the What Does Science Say channel and give us energy with your likes and comments. Share your comments with us and send the video to your loved ones so that others can also use it.